You know how it is. One day they're a little ball of fur, just making you excessively happy with cuddles and licks on your face. And the next day they're a giant eating machine, interested in any food and all food, and especially your food. Well, in our case, why not take care of him just like we do the rest of the family because he is part of our family. And I'm going to show you how I take some simple ingredients and make some carnivore dog food for our mostly carnivore dog, Digby the dog, also affectionately known as Digger, Diggs, Digbert, Digbo, and sometimes Fathead. Most of the time, what that dog food looks like is a 10-pound bag of chicken leg quarters, or at least that's where it starts. I can get this for as little as $9 for these chicken leg quarters. Again, 10 pounds of it. But often I find it marked down like this package. I believe it was just about $5.50, which in the long run, once you take the bones out, is not a bad deal still per pound. Also, I got a marked down pork butt. This is a 10-pound pork butt I got for $13. So about $1.30 a pound, but often I can get this for 99 cents a pound. And the two of them together make some delicious food. Got some organ meats marked down, in this case, a beef kidney. And what I do is I just start with this chicken as simple as I can. I open the package, I put it in a great big pot. I usually get about 8 chicken leg quarters out of a 10-pound bag. And most of the time I can fit 6 or 7, I should say 5 or 6 chicken leg quarters in the pot at once, leaving me a couple left over to use later, or, maybe to nosh on myself. A little bit of water in the bottom of the pot to prevent it from sticking. No seasonings, nothing special here, folks. Just a bunch of chicken leg quarters in a great big pot, and into the oven it goes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2 hours is all it takes. And while that chicken bakes in the oven, I'm just going to get this pork butt prepped for cooking by taking the bone out. And there's not a lot of prep work for this either. And while I sped the video up just to keep from boring you to tears, it really only took me like 3 or 4 minutes to debone this pork butt, where I had just meat left. And out of that 10 pounds of pork butt with the bone gone, I still had about 9.5 pounds. Added together with that chicken that is baking in the oven, these and that beef kidney that I'm going to show you in just a moment, these meats all together are going to give me close to 3 weeks worth of food. He gets about 8 to 10 ounces of meat a day, 4 to 5 in the morning and 4 to 5 in the evening. Sometimes with, table scraps and stuff too. So that may vary and stretch the amount of dog food I have left out over the time. And once it's deboned, I just cut it up into smaller pieces so that I can run it through my grinder a little bit later. You don't have to have a grinder to do this. You can always just do the same thing and just chop the meat up. And for just a little bit of extra vitamins, didn't know I was multilingual, did you? I'm just going to clean this beef kidney up, get that real hard center out of there, and do the same thing, just chop it up so that it's ready to go through the grinder with the pork butt. And based on past experience, I know there's going to be someone clutching their pearls, so I will go ahead and show you that I do clean and sanitize as I go along. Now, after a couple of hours in the oven, this chicken is done, and so it's time to get it out of the oven and let it cool down to the point that I can handle it. And I always check the temperature just to make sure. I know if the top ones are up to temperature over 165 degrees, then the rest of them are And these were well over, I think they were about 190. So they were definitely overcooked, but I'm not really too concerned given the hungry status of my client. But if I take them out and let them sort of drain and cool on a cookie sheet, they cool off a lot quicker so that I can get right in there and just start pulling the meat off of the bones, being careful to make sure the most important thing for me is to make sure that I get that pin bone out of the chicken leg, because that can be an evil little bone that can get stuck right there. It is. And I check every single one to make sure that I get the pin bone out. The rest of the bones are big enough. I'm not concerned about missing them. And if I can keep some of the cartilage and gristle for inclusion in the dog food, then I do that. I do also keep some of the skin, but not necessarily all of the skin. It can get sort of slimy and fatty, and I don't know that he needs that much fat given everything that goes into the food that we give him. So I usually pull all the skin off and then decide how much fat I'm going to put back into it. Then here we go. We've got it separated now. Easy peasy. I've got my pile of bones. I've got my pile of meat separated from it, and I've got my pile of skin. And the chicken itself, I'm going to just chop up. So here we go. I've got 3.3 pounds, 3 ounces of chicken out of those 6 chicken leg quarters. So, that's about half of the chicken leg quarters that's actually meat for the dog. Then back to the pork. I've had it in the freezer for a while so that it grinds up nice and easy. I get out the good old meat brand, Meat Your Maker grinder, which I love, and give it a grind through the smallest grind plate. And again, I know I've already said it, but you do not have to have a grinder to do this. If you want to make this particular kind of food for your dog, all you've got to do is just chop it up. Just takes a little longer, but you can just chop it up as fine or as large as you and your dog prefer. Once it's all ground up, now it's time to cook this pork. And I'm not opposed to giving the dog raw food, but for what I'm using it for and how I'm using it and how I'm storing it, I just want to go ahead and cook the food first. And while the ground pork is cooking, I've had this chicken in the fridge for a couple of hours just because I was doing some other things. So this I didn't run through the grinder. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. This I pulled it off the bone as you saw, and now I'm just going to take this meat cleaver and I'm going to cleave it up. Clove it up? Yeah, you know. And there you have it, folks. A bunch of cooked ground pork and some cooked chicken and some cooked beef kidney, all chopped up, ground up, mixed up. And my next and last step is I'm going to bag it up. So I take a gallon Ziploc bag, and each one I put in about 2.5 pounds. And that lasts me long enough. I know that it's not going to spoil and go bad over the time that I need it. It also makes it manageable sizes to thaw out. And I got these 4-gallon bags filled up and ready to go. And I can promise you I fed it to him over the next 3 weeks. Not a single complaint. Compared to $4 and up for store-bought, quote-unquote, meat, fresh dog food, which you don't really know what's in it, this has been the way that has worked best for us. I think it's made our dog healthier, and happier. And so if you're interested, give it a try. It can be affordable, and there's something for me that at least that's very satisfying, both mentally and probably emotionally, when it comes to taking care of this guy. Drop a comment here and let me know how you go about feeding your dog and what you feed your dog. Always interested to learn, and it might help somebody else. Really appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you next time.